Good morning, church. My name is Chandler, and I work with the 11th, 12th grade ministry here at North Coast. And what I want to share with you this morning is found in Exodus 3. You see, where we find ourselves is the Israelites are enslaved in Egypt because what happened was during a famine, they all moved there. And then Pharaoh got scared that the people were going to take over because of their massive size of population. And so he started enslaving the people. And then God calls this man named Moses to free the people from Israel or from Egypt out of the bondage. And so God is having this conversation with Moses out of a burning bush, and he says, I'm calling you to set my people free. And then Moses questions God right here and found in Exodus 3, verse 13. Moses said to God, suppose I go to the Israelites and say to them, the God of my fathers has sent me to you. And they ask me, what is his name? Then what shall I tell them? God said to Moses, I am who I am. This is who you are to say to the Israelites. I am has sent me to you. God also said to Moses, say to the Israelites, the Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob has sent me to you. This is my name forever, the name you shall call me from generation to generation. And see, this name I am is this term of being, God's eternal presence, his infinite character, and how he was there for all eternity. But what I want to focus on is he gives the people the story of the ancestors. He said, I'm the God of the fathers of your faith, of this nation, of Abraham, of Isaac. But then he says this name, Jacob. And it never occurred to me in scripture that when he says the name Jacob, that the people are called the Israelites. And Jacob's name got switched to Israel, because it means one that wrestles with God. And see, Jacob constantly found himself in failure, and he kept hiding and running from people, and he would trick people into trying to make himself feel valued, trying to find worth. And so you see this picture of him wrestling with God, and finally God says, I'm going to switch your name to Israel because you have wrestled with God, because you fought and said, are you going to value me? What can I do to earn your love? And God says, you can't earn my love. It's freely given to you. But why did he say that to Moses is what I asked myself. And what I had to realize is this is almost, to use a sports analogy, it's as if he's calling Muhammad Ali Cassius Clay again. It's like, wait, you used the old name. You used the name that you changed. And I think it's because of this, that God was speaking to Moses, who had just found himself running from the nation of Egypt and his people for the past 40 years because he was embarrassed, because he was trying to put on a face of who he was. And I think a lot of us find ourselves in the same place as Moses, where we're called by God to go out and live bold lives to help be an influence and impact to other people. But we get scared. We try and put on a face so that people like us. Or we try and earn God's love and say, what can you do to like me, God? When will you love me? But God says right here, I am the God of Jacob. He didn't say Israel, he said Jacob, the man who constantly found himself in failure. I am that God. And I think there's a lot of us that you're probably like me, where you might find yourself in failure trying to earn people's love and respect, and you constantly feel like you're just running and fighting and wrestling and trying to earn that. And God goes, I'm not just the God of your victories. I'm not just going to claim you when you're doing good in this life. I am the God of Jacob. I'm the God of your failures. I'm the God of all parts of you. You see, I think there's this misconception that we have to clean our lives up, that we have to be good people before we go to church on service, or before we go to church on weekends. That we have to be righteous, and that we have to have everything in our life in order so we can sit in church and worship God. But God says, I didn't come for the healthy, I came for the sick. So if you find yourself like me, like Moses, like the people of the Old Testament, where you feel like you're constantly surrounded in your brokenness, God says, don't worry, because I'm the God of Jacob. I'm the God of Abraham, of Isaac, and I'm the God of Jacob, and he is here for us and our failures. And he says, I want to own that. I want to own all parts of your life, so that people will know that they don't have to be perfect to come to God, but you can come to God as you are. So church, I hope you find this encouraging as you live out that daily freedom, that God is there for you. He wants all parts of you. Your failures, your victories, your defeats, your shame. He wants it all so that he can write that for his redemptive plan, so he can call you to influence the world, to help free people from bondage that they're living in. But if you think that you have to be this perfect person, then we're never going to be able to serve God. So come as you are before the throne of God and worship him. I hope you guys have a great morning, and I hope you find this encouraging. Thank you.